Once again, I think I spend too much time at my library. Not that that's a bad thing, but I do spend a lot of time at my library. And this time around, I was actually going to pick up another book for another video. And then I decided to just go browse the shelves because I normally do that and my child gets irritated at me. Anyways, I found 4 really weird books that I just want to give a try and see if I like them. They're all sci-fi except one of them, but it sounds really weird, so it's going in here. And I just want to, I don't know, I've just been in the mood for a weird science fiction lately, so that's what this video is going to be. I picked up Vanishing World, where nobody can have sex anymore. Everybody's having to use artificial insemination, and evidently it doesn't go very well, so we're going to figure that out together. And then I have Holiday Spirit, which is about monsters, like Frankenstein's monster. And we also have Dracula having to team up together to figure out who's killing all these people during the holidays. Sounds really weird, but interesting. And Citadel is the science fiction book. It's about an autistic woman who refuses to crumble as she stands against a dramatic society clinging to century-long conflicts, but built on lies. So it's gonna be about like a science fiction world. And then I picked up We. Evidently, this book is the one that influenced George Orwell while he was writing 1984. I don't know when this book was published. Let me look. 1920? And he's a Russian author. Obviously, he's no longer alive. But it's based on like a utopia, dystopian world, and there's a big eyeball. So I'm assuming that everybody is under surveillance and everybody's watching everybody. So these are the books that I picked up for this video. I think I'm gonna like at least one of them, hopefully. That is the goal. But I'll let you know which one I start reading first. I ended up finishing Citadel, and I thought that it was a really interesting book, okay? This was a cool book. We have Olivia. Olivia is mute. She is autistic and she does not speak. And in this community, she is ostracized. Nobody really likes her because of that, and everybody thinks that she is just playing it up, especially after her mother passes away and she goes to live with her dad. And Olivia is extremely intelligent. Like, she is very, very intelligent, but because people suck, they think that she is dumb because she's not. She doesn't talk. Her main thing at the very beginning of this book is to go into the forest and figure out why the so-called demons that are outside of the city killed her boyfriend, and why they are always killing humans, and trying to get down to the bottom of what is happening. This city is dystopian, and it is heavily ran by rich religious leaders. And if you don't believe in their religion, if you don't believe in what their message is, then you are killed and you are deemed that you're going to hell and all of those things. And Olivia does not agree with what these religious leaders preach. She doesn't want to be in this religion at all. She can see that there are loopholes where the super prestigious people are corrupt, and she doesn't want to be around that. So this book is dark, okay? It's very dark. Like the author's note says, that this is an ableist community, a sexist community, a classist community, or society, I should say, and it's gonna piss you off. And it did make me very, very mad throughout this entire book. And essentially, the richer get richer, the poorer get poorer, and it's not a very good community to be in. They're on a different planet than Earth as well, and they're, like I mentioned, that there are these creatures that they deem as demons, and there are hunters that go out and kill the demons, because the demons supposedly kill all the humans that come into the forest and all that stuff. But I thought that it was really cool once you get into the book and you realize what the demons are and their backstory. I thought that it was done really well. I'm gonna give this a 4 because it was kind of messy at times and it did kind of drag in the middle, but I thought that it was really good book and it was done very, very well. So if you are looking for a dystopian book about like a different world and classist, ableist society where the main character breaks out of it, I think that you would really enjoy this. I then ended up reading We, and I was going to fill you in along the way while I was reading this because I love dystopian books that are totalitarian society. But this one, I just wanted to get through it. I wanted to roll right through this because I hated being in the main character's mind. I am not a stream of consciousness person a lot of the time, especially when it's like written like this. He was just all over the place and I do not understand the hype behind this classic, honestly. Margaret Atwood and George Orwell say that this book is genius and all that kind of stuff, which I liked the society part of this, learning about the society, learning what was going on in the society. But the main character, D503, and that is another thing, they don't have names, they are just referred to as numbers. So that's part of it. And if you go against the society, you end up disappearing. And as D503 learns more about his society, because at the beginning he really likes the way that this globe, glass enclosed city is ran, because he believes that structure and not having the freedom is what makes you happy, and that freedom makes you unhappy. But as he continues to learn about what happens behind closed doors, especially in the benefactor area, he learns that it's not a good way to live, and it's just chaotic. A lot of times it's all over the place, and I did not like being in his mind. Okay, I did not like being there. It was very chaotic, and me having a chaotic mind of my own, it was a lot. Okay, it was a lot. But I do think that if you like the classics, or like the classic dystopian books that are just kind of like ooh, all the time, I think you might like this. For me, it was just all over the place. Okay, it was all over the place, and I did not like being in his head. I didn't like it. I'm giving it a 2. Next book is The Vanishing World, and I know that this book is about people not having sex anymore to have babies. People are having babies through artificial insemination, and I flipped through this. The text is really big in this book. There's no chapters, there's just part 1, part 2, part 3. I think that this one I'm gonna do a lot better with when listening to it on audio, just because of the long chapters and there's really like no breaks in between. But I've heard so things about this. I heard that people either love it or hate it. I think that I'm gonna like it just from the vibes, and I think it is more satirical than anything, so I think I'm gonna end up liking this a lot. I dare say that I read one of the worst books of 2026, for me at least. I'm giving Vanishing World a 1.5. So this was like a 2.5 before the ending happened. The ending was atrocious. It was not needed, and it made me really, really, really hate this main character, which I think was the point, but it just wasn't needed, and it didn't follow the tone of the book. So in this world we have characters, like I said, who do not have sex anymore to, you know, have babies. If they want to have a baby, they are artificially inseminated. Men and women both can have babies. My hair is atrocious, but anyways, men and women both can have babies. They have this technology where men have a womb outside of their body. It's artificial, obviously, womb, and they can carry babies. but it's just really weird, which I expected it to be weird. But there are a lot of good topics in here that are very thought-provoking, especially about sexuality, sexual reproduction, who is able to carry babies, and the world was extremely interesting because you marry inside your family, but husbands and wives don't have sex. They like go outside of their relationship to find sexual partners, which I thought was very interesting. And it's considered incestual if husband and wife do end up, you know, doing the thing and then having babies, which was a very interesting topic. And I thought that it was done well for the most part. But the main character that we're following, Sakaya, she is insufferable, and she's a predator in my opinion. She really is. Like from a very young age, she is very curious about her sexuality, and I think that she has got some things going on, okay? And especially at the end, I was like, what are you doing? And I don't know if the society really thinks about age, which is a big problem for me. And they definitely, like, she doesn't think about consent. She crosses that line a couple times in my opinion. Maybe I read it wrong, I don't know. Maybe I interpreted it in the wrong way. But yeah, it ain't for me, I'll say that. It was a very interesting way to tell a story as well. So I did appreciate that about it, but just like, I don't recommend this book to people, okay? Don't recommend it. And now I'm halfway through Holiday Spirit. This has all of the classic monsters that you have probably heard of. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the Wicked Witch, all of those things. And the witch in this book is stealing children because the holidays are coming up and she just wants to ruin everybody's life. And all of the monsters that are supposed to be bad guys are actually the good guys in the story, and they are trying to save all of the children. That's essentially what's it about. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but I'm gonna finish it because I'm halfway through it, and it's an easy book to get through. It's just not gonna be high on my list of faves for the year, you know? And I need to return it to the library. So I'll let you know how I feel, and I'll get back to you. You like my shirt? It says to tell your dog I said hi. So if you have a dog, tell your dog I said hi. If you have a cat, tell your cat I said hi too. But especially if you have a dog. I love this shirt. My mama got it for me. I am here at the library because I'm returning all of these books. I wanted to let you know I ended up finishing this and I'm giving it a 2. It was not my fave. The character that I liked the most in here was the witch, and that's not a good thing. Everyone else was just very flat. For these to be classical monsters all in the same story, I expected more character development. I expected some sort of uniqueness to them. They were all their characters, like you learn, but I expected the author to give me a little bit more in that aspect, his little twist on them specifically. It was really just like carbon copy of these characters with no pizzazz to them, if that makes sense. But yeah, the witch, she was well fleshed out. She was evil, but the other ones, for them to be such well-known monsters and classic monsters, I did not get... I didn't feel like they were done justice in this book. I do think that it was an interesting premise with all of the monsters together and seeing which ones were supposed to be the good guys versus which ones were with the Wicked Witch, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I would pass. If you're looking for a fairy tale aspect story, I would pass on this one. So these 3 were not my fave. Got a 1.5, 2 2s, and then we have a 4. So this one was a success. I liked this one a lot. I liked the world building. I liked the different political intrigue, or the political intrigue that was in here. I really liked Olivia a lot. I love characters like her, especially breaking out of the society and like taking down the society. I love that aspect of it. And I will be reading more from this author. So if you're looking for sci-fi dystopian book that has representation of autism and also muteness, I think that you would like this book. And it has really good friendships and loyalty and all that, and I like that. But it's very unique, and I really, really liked it. So I'm gonna go return these. It's hotter than hell in my car right now because I didn't want you to hear my air conditioning, but I'm about to burn up. So I'm gonna return these and probably go check out some more, okay? I will see you on the next one. Hopefully you have a great day and good weekend. Oh, it's hot.